In this video, we'll be hunting 2 boxes of pennies, as well as seeing if we make any progress in the Penny Hunt and Fill album. Of course, we'll be looking for any wheat scents from 1958 or older. We'll also be looking for any proofs, foreigns, errors or varieties, or any other odd things we can find, as well as seeing how much copper we can get and see how much we can fill the copper jar. And I'm excited for these 2 boxes because we do have 2 wheat scent enders. Box number 1, roll 5, we have a 1952 Denver wheat scent. And in box 2, in roll 23, we have a mystery wheat scent reverse ender right there. So 2 wheat scent enders, definitely a great sign for both boxes. Definitely excited for the hunt. Before I start the hunt, I do want to say that right before I started recording this video, I did notice that my channel passed 100 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported the channel by liking, subscribing, or commenting. Really appreciate the support, and I'm super excited. We're past 100 subscribers. Excited to go for the next milestone. So I just want to say thank you everyone again. So, let's start the penny hunt now on box number 1, and I'll bring you in on the first find. Just opened the first roll, and this is definitely a great sign. Again, we do have that wheat scent ender in roll 5 and one in box 2 as well, but I just opened this roll, and I see the edge of a wheat scent near the middle there, and I see the date of one near the beginning of the roll as well. So 2 wheat scents in roll 1 with a couple of enders. Definitely a great sign for the hunt. Maybe we'll have another couple of really hot boxes. First wheat scent I already saw the date was a 1947 out of Denver, and the second one near the middle of the roll is going to be a 1940 out of Philly. Couple wheat scents in roll 1, definitely an awesome sign for the hunt. Just opened roll 5, which was our wheat scent ender, and we're going to have some more in the roll. See an edge of one right there, and another one there that looks pretty damaged, but let's take out the wheat scent ender first. We already know it's a 1952 out of Denver. Let's go for the damaged one next. Could be old, who knows with this damage. Does look pretty worn, but it is just a 1946 out of Philly that's just really damaged. Now let's go for the last wheat scent of the roll. I can see, which is the third of the roll. Pretty nice shape, and it's a 1956 out of Denver. Just opened roll number 8, and I see the edge of another wheat scent. And this is going to make 6 for the hunt already in 8 rolls, which is definitely an awesome start. And this wheat scent's going to be a 1953 from Denver. Just opened roll 10, and I see the edge of another wheat scent as well as the first Canadian of the box, which I'm just going to pull out. It's not going to be too old, just looks like a modern one, just a 1978. But the wheat scent I see is right here. It's already going to make 7 for the box in 10 rolls, and it's going to be a 1941 out of Philly. Roll 11, and I just uncovered another wheat scent, which is going to be number 8 for the box now, and it's just another 1956 minted in Denver. Roll 14, and we're already going to be up to 9 wheat scents for the box, which is awesome. Definitely a super hot start to the hunt. I just uncovered it right here, 1957 out of Denver. Just opened roll 19, and we're already going to have 10 wheat scents for the hunt. Again, this has gone off to a super hot start. We're also going to have the second Canadian as well, which I'll pull out since I already have you here. And it's a 1978, just like the other one. And the 10th wheat scent is right here. I can see the wheat scent. And it is going to be a 1958 out of Denver. Roll 21, and I just uncovered another wheat scent. And this is another one from the 50s. It's a little bit damaged, but it is 1952 out of Denver. Roll 23, and I just uncovered something I haven't found in quite a few penny hunts. Not worth a ton, but definitely cool to find. I just found a counter stamp penny on a 1972 Philly, and it's a counter stamp with a heart that says, "I love you." That's a pretty cool find. Don't find counter stamp pennies too often. Definitely a unique find in the box. Just opened roll 27, and we're going to have another wheat scent. This one is one away from being an ender at the front of the roll. And it does look pretty worn. Hopefully, it's a little bit of an older one. And it is just from the early 40s, another 1941 out of Philly. Just opened roll 29, and I see the edge of yet another wheat scent. This one is near the middle of the roll, right here. And this time, we're going to have a 1953 from Philly. Roll 30, and I just uncovered another wheat scent. The box is continuing to stay pretty hot on the wheat scents. This one is just another one from the 50s, 1951 Denver. Roll 34, we're going to have the first pre-40s wheat scent of the hunt, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it is one we already have, just a common 1937 out of Philly, but it's always super cool to find a wheat cent that's pre-40s. Roll 37, and I somehow missed it by the edge of the reverse, but we are going to have another wheat cent reverse facing, and it is in pretty good shape, probably just in the late 50s, and it is a 1957 from Denver. Next roll, and the wheat cents are going to continue because at the very end of this roll, I just uncovered another one from the 50s, and this one is another 1952 minted in Denver. Just opened roll 40, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent. This box is definitely going to end with a great amount of wheat cents. This one is right here, and this time we're going to have a 1947 out of Denver. Next roll, and once again, I see the edge of yet another wheat cent. This time, it's a few coins away from an ender in the back. And this wheat cent is a 1944 out of Denver. Next roll, once again, and this part of the box is on a little bit of a streak of wheat cents because I just uncovered another one in the middle of the roll. This one is 1948 out of Denver. Just opened roll 45, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent. This one is near the back of the roll, right here. And this one has some luster on it, and it is 1947 Denver. May be clean, but either way, has pretty good detail. Roll 47, just opened the roll. We're going to have yet another wheat cent, and I see the edge of it right here. And this time, we're going to have a 1945 out of Denver. Roll 48, and I just uncovered another wheat cent, a handful of coins in. It's another one from the 50s, 1951, minted in Philly. Same roll, and I just uncovered another wheat cent from the 50s. This one is last year, 1958 from Denver. Last roll of box 1 is going to end in a fitting way because I just opened the roll, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent near the middle. Definitely a lot of wheat cents in this box, a really great box. I was guessing out the wheat cent ender, and the last wheat cent of box 1 is a 1958 out of Denver. First box has been hunted, and it was a really great box. We ended up with a total of 25 wheat cents, which is about 1 wheat cent every 2 rolls, which is definitely an awesome box. Most are common 40s and 50s, but we did get one pre-40s. It's just a common 1937, but we did at least get one pre-40s for the box. Either way, 25 wheat cents, definitely a really good amount for the box. Only found 3 Canadians, so it was pretty light on Canadians. And we did have that 1972 counter stamp with a heart with I love you written inside it. Kind of a unique find there. Overall, definitely an awesome first box with 25 wheats. And the second box is a sister box with another wheat cent ender. So hopefully this can be a lot like the first box. Maybe we can get about 50 wheat cents for the hunt, which would make it an awesome hunt. So let's start the hunt on box number 2, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll 5, and we have the first find of box number 2, and there is a wheat cent in the middle of the roll. I see its reverse right here, and the first wheat cent of box 2 is a 1956 out of Denver. Roll 5 is actually going to give us another wheat cent, so we had 2 wheat cents in that roll, which is pretty cool to start off the box. And wheat cent number 2 is 1942 from Denver. Roll 17, and I just uncovered another wheat cent for box 2. And this is going to make 3 for the box. It's just another one from the 40s, 1946 out of Denver. Roll 20, and I just uncovered wheat cent number 4 for box 2 near the end of the roll, just a few coins away from the end. And it is 1951 from Denver. Next roll, just a few coins in, and I just uncovered another wheat cent, so this is going to make 5 for box 2 now. This one is 1942 out of Philly. Next roll once again, and I just uncovered an oldie. Wheat cent number 6 is going to be from the 20s, 1920 out of Philly. Don't need this one for the album, it's a very common year, plus this one looks like it had a chunk taken out of it on the right or something, just some odd damage, but still. It's a 1920 wheat cent, 102 years old, even though it's a common year, still an awesome find. Next roll is our wheat cent ender for box 2, and I believe this is the 4th roll in a row with a wheat cent, so box number 2 definitely seems to be heating up a little bit. And this is going to be the 7th wheat cent of the box. Don't see anything else in the roll, but the wheat cent ender is a 1952 from Denver. Roll 28, and I just uncovered yet another wheat cent. This is going to make 8 for box 2, so only 2 more for double digits. And this one is just 1956 from Denver. Just opened roll 30, and I see the edge of the 9th wheat cent for box 2 around the middle of the roll, right here. And this wheat cent is a 1957 out of Denver. Roll 32, we just hit double-digit wheat cents for box 2 because I just uncovered wheat cent number 10, and it is yet another 1957 from Denver. Just opened roll 34, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent. Box number 2 is turning out to be a great box, just like box number 1, and this wheat cent is going to be a 1948 from Denver. Roll 41 is going to give us another wheat cent. This one is from 1941, and it is minted in Denver. Roll 46 is going to have a couple of finds. First, I do see the edge of just a modern Canadian. I'll pick it out just as I have you here. And it is just a 1994, but we're also going to have a wheat cent in this roll. I can see the date of it already right here, a 1955 out of Denver. Just opened roll 48, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent. This one is near the back of the roll, right here. And this wheat cent is going to be a 1944 out of Philly. Both penny boxes have been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 14 1959s, 10 Esmonds, as well as 32 2009s. Canadians, we ended up with 10 for the 2 boxes, which is pretty good. No oldies, but still 10 Canadians. And only one miscellaneous find for the hunt. It was that 1972 Philly with the I Love You counter stamp on it. Definitely an interesting find. Haven't seen one of those before. Don't get counter stamp pennies too often, so it's a pretty cool find. Now, for the wheat cents, we ended up with 39 for the 2 boxes. Another great hunt for wheat cents. My boxes have been really hot lately. Definitely continue today. We ended up with 25 for the first box and 14 for the second. And we did get 2 oldies pre-1940, 1937 Philly and 1920 Philly. 1920 is unfortunately pretty damaged, but still, a couple of oldies pretty cool to get in the hunt. Lastly, for copper, we did pretty average, which is good. We got over 75% of the copper jar filled, and that's pretty average for me, and that's definitely a good amount of copper, so I'll definitely take that. So, now I'm going to go through the finds and see if we can make any progress to the album. I don't think we're going to have any additions, but we'll see. So, I'll bring you back with an update of the album. Just finished updating the album, and as I thought, unfortunately we did not get any additions in this hunt, but we still did end up with 2 upgrades, which is pretty good. Did have an upgrade on the 1937 out of Philly. This one's slightly less worn than the last one. And we also upgraded the 1942 Denver. The one before in there was in pretty rough shape, so that was definitely a good upgrade as well. So even though we only got 2 upgrades and no additions in this hunt, this was still a really awesome hunt. 39 wheat cents in 2 boxes, definitely some hot boxes. This was definitely an awesome penny hunt and album fill series episode.